I'm back with another mukbang. I haven't done these in a while and I'm so excited because I love this place. It's called, I'm probably mispronouncing it, it's called Bajin Bavin, something like that. I'll put it down below. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure what is what. I just know it's good because I've gotten it before. It destroyed my stomach, but it's worth it. I got a samosa and a spicy spring dosa, which I think is this, and then I got some coconut rice. So I'm gonna show you everything. And then this is the dosa, I think. Pretty sure this is yeah, these are the samosas. I don't know what this is, but I'm still gonna eat it. And then I got a bottle of water too. Today I'm gonna talk about my experience working at a Brestaurant. I worked there for about a year, on and off. I made a lot of bad decisions after Elias passed away, and this was one of them. And nothing against people who work there, it was not for me. It was not something I should have done so soon either. I did it 6 months after he died, so my head was not right. If you don't know what a restaurant is, it's like a place where you're half naked, you know, breasts are out, whatever. I worked at Ojos Locos and I also worked at Chulas. Both experiences were pretty negative. Applying is easy. You just go in there with some tight-ass clothes and you're good. You got the job. Oh my god. This food is so freaking bomb. Probably the best food I've eaten on camera. What's required of you is basically to be half naked, you know? And I knew that going in, but of course, being on the job is a totally different thing. We would have dress up days, and at Chulas, which I was only there for 2 weeks, most of the time, the rest of the time I was at Ojos Locos. First week, my first day actually, I had to dress up in lingerie. It was lingerie week. And when I got there, I just took off my clothes and I was in my underwear. The thing is that I was 19, I think, when I started working there. 19? Yeah, I was pretty young either way. And these old men come to look at that. I just think about that and that's so disgusting. But that's not the main thing. The main thing is that a lot of these girls that work there are incredibly hateful. They don't like competition. If they see you doing good, you know, they'll do anything to like break you down or whatever. This is so bomb. A lot of the girls there didn't really like me. Honestly, it's because I'm weird. And I've always been like this. Like, I've always been weird and I just can't help it. And I'm also, I guess, socially awkward because, like I've told y'all before, I was never allowed to have friends, you know? So, and even being friends with girls, it's kind of a different thing compared to being friends with guys. And I hate to be that person like, oh, all my friends are dudes. But it is different. The interaction is definitely different. It's definitely more complex. And especially being in a situation where we're all there to make money, so we rely on tips. We're all waitresses or bartenders, you know? So they do see you as competition. Honestly, these girls used to go out all the time, you know, together. And they would talk shit about each other behind their backs, but I never had gone out with them. Never, never, never. I think this is like potatoes. I don't even know. I don't want to guess because I'm going to be totally wrong. It's funny because when I went to the front counter at the place, the Indian food place, the lady, I think she thought I was Indian because she started speaking to me in her language and I didn't really know what to say, and then she told a joke. I'm guessing it was a joke because she started laughing. And I laughed too because it seemed like a good joke. But I don't think she realized that I didn't understand her. Oh my god. There was one time I got a large table. It was like, I'm honestly thinking it was like 10 people at that table. And I took their orders, you know, I took them. And they had stayed there for hours, so they were drunk by the end of it because it was a bar, you know. And it was like 4 o'clock. It was really early. But when I closed them out, I think because they were so drunk, they ended up tipping me almost $100. I ended up telling the girl, she had helped me bring out the drinks or whatever, like bring out the food. And I told her, dude, they tipped me 100. And she was like, you need to give me some of that. And I was like, they tipped me. And she was like, yeah, well, I'll help you bring out the drinks. I was like, I'm not gonna give you that. She was like, no, I helped you, you have to do it. She was like, give me some. Me being the punk ass bitch that I am, I gave her $20. I wish I could go back in time and punch that bitch in the face. And then this girl, like, after I quit or whatever, she ended up texting me like, "Why'd you quit?" Like, just being a chismosa, you know. She didn't really care. She just wanted a reason to gossip. And I remember there was a point in time when I was gaining weight, and I didn't look bad, honestly. Like, I look back at the photos and it didn't look bad. And at that time, I didn't even feel bad either. It was just, I was getting, not a belly, but it wasn't as flat because my stomach had always been flat my whole life. They pulled me aside one day and they're like, you know, you're a really great worker, but you kind of need to work out a little bit. And when they told me that, I was like, damn. I felt really sad. And I think about it, I'm like, bro, I was probably one of the skinniest girls there. What the heck? When I was working at Chulas, you had to take photos with the customers. Like, if they asked you for a photo, you couldn't say no. You could get fired for saying no. And I had a friend, she worked there too. She said that they used to make them be like, "Oh, you have to sit on the customer's laps." And a lot of times I would see the girls sitting on the customer's laps. But of course, that's free will or whatever. But she said that they were telling her to do so. Nah. Because you are half naked, a lot of these men think that you're easy or that they can do what they want with you because they are tipping you or whatever as well. Mm-mm. Hell no. A lot of them did try. One dude, he was my one of my regulars. He loved me. He loved my skin color. He was this old white dude. I think he was honestly like 60. He made good money. He would visit me like every week. He would tip me like $100 every time. But he was mad perverted. Just the way he would talk to you was disgusting. But he asked me to have sex with him. Like, he said he would pay for it. I said no. For one of the other girls, he would actually like buy her stuff. Wouldn't do anything with him. Take her on shopping sprees and stuff. Honestly, I think if you were to work there, it'd be so easy to find the sugar daddy because the men obviously know you're there for money. And a lot of times they do want to provide you with that. Of course, they're going to think that you're going to give up something, but it's a little easier there to find a sugar daddy who's willing. There aren't a lot of rules as long as you um, don't get like mystery shop, because sometimes mystery shoppers would come and they would pretend to be like an underage person, but if you didn't ask for their ID, you know, you could get fired or whatever. As long as you didn't do that, you pretty much had a job for life, or as long as you didn't get ugly or whatever. I love the amount of spice Indian food has. I love spicy food, and I feel like a lot of times spice never reaches the level I need, but Indian food really reaches it. The funny thing is that a lot of these girls actually dated the customers. That's how a lot of them got boyfriends, because the customers became their boyfriends. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't even say date. Well, we did go on a date, but I did mess around with one of my customers for about a year. Actually, even after I quit, we kept in contact. He was actually a really good friend until he got a girlfriend. That's actually a crazy story. God, I was so crazy. I actually met one of my good friends there, Greg. We're still friends to this day and we hang out. And I met him through ojos locos. That was his waitress. I really like this. I'm gonna say it's a samosa. This brown stuff is like a sweet dipping sauce, and this one is like a spicy one. But the sweet one is really good. The dosas are actually really big. It's like a big tortilla type of thing. I kind of killed it. Like, that's a little bit left. The girls are very catty. They gossip a lot. I remember I had a crush on one of the managers. Was such an idiot. I think I posted him on my Snapchat, and I put like, "Oh babe," and just as a joke, and they screenshotted it and they were all showing each other. I didn't find out until one of my customers told me. He was like, "You like one of the managers?" And I was like, "How do you know that?" And he showed me a photo of it. He was like, "By the way, everybody's talking about you." And I'm like, yo, y'all don't have anything better to do. It's funny that a lot of these girls actually ended up adding me on social media afterwards. If you're watching this, keep that same energy. But there was some that were nice to me. Everybody everybody would try to flirt with you though, just because they thought you were easy. I remember there was this one Mexican dude. He was older. He was already probably like 50, but he was like one of the people who clean. I remember he was telling me like he had a problem with his phone, and I was like, oh, I can help you with it, because it was something like super simple. He was like, okay, well, give me your number so I can call you whenever I'm here the next day so you can help me with it. And I was like, yeah. And I honestly didn't think anything of it, because this dude wasn't coming on to me like that. Later that night, he ended up texting me, oh, ese cuerpo de angelito, como te quiero besar. I was just like, what the hell? And it's just because of the way I was dressed. Like, oh, this girl, she's dressed this way, she wants me. And it's not like that. I've actually gone back to ojos locos to drink and stuff, but I wouldn't work there again, just because I don't think it's for me. I feel like I've worked in other places and I kind of know what I want as a job. So yeah, I don't think I would work there again, unless worst comes to worst. I know, like, yeah, I would work there. I would recommend it if you're okay with showing your body. If you're okay with it, then you go for it. You can make good money. Of course, I made money, but I didn't save any of it. I didn't know how to save at that time. I knew nothing about finances. So all that money, it just disappeared. I would spend it as soon as I got it, because you make it that night, so it's easy. The only thing is that also the bar, it closes like at 2, so you don't get out till 3. So you don't get home till probably 3:30, 4, depending on where you live. But you can meet good people. It's a little more difficult just because for the most part they won't respect you, but there's some gems out there. So yeah, that was my experience. It wasn't too fun, especially because I was so depressed. So anytime the girls would talk about me, I would honestly start crying. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I would start crying. And that's why everybody thought I was weird too, because I would cry easily. I was just super sensitive at that time. Also, shout out to everybody who's always like, oh, post another mukbang, because I always feel like a lot of y'all don't like it. Every time I post a normal story time, y'all are like, oh, post a mukbang. So shout out to y'all. I'm gonna keep doing honestly, I'm gonna do whatever I want with my channel. I'm gonna do story times, mukbangs, and vlogs. Like, if you don't want to watch certain videos, you don't have to. And I never understand why some people come to my mukbangs and say, I don't like that you eat, when in the title it literally says eat with me. Like, you see food in front of me. I don't know if something's wrong with your eyesight. I will never understand that. I killed this rice too. I'm almost done with it. And then this, of course, I almost finished it. It was honestly big. I hope y'all don't think that I didn't eat a little bit, because I ate a lot. I think that's it for today. That was super good. I would recommend this place. 10 out of 10. I hope y'all liked that video. It wasn't too much, too extra or whatever. Probably wasn't even interesting. I'll end up seeing when I have to rewatch it. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.